Popeye editorial. Before we get into the meat of it all, as bikers, we have a certain perspective about being vilified. It's a powerful tool of the left and right, the law, politicians, and media. So let's take a look into Minnesota, Border Patrol, and IC, and the political matchstick. What's happening in Minnesota right now is not about calm, and it's not about de-escalation. Be very clear. Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey are not lowering the temperature, they are pouring gasoline on it. They should be backing the rule of law, instead of telling people not to stand down, instead of reminding the public that ICE and Border Patrol are federal law enforcement agencies. These leaders are openly framing enforcement as oppression, and now, unbelievably, comparing it to the Holocaust. Comparison is reckless, offensive. It is historically obscene. The Holocaust was the systematic industrial murder of 6 million Jews, not the arrest of illegal criminal aliens under existing U.S. law. But this is the strategy, demonizing ICE, Border Patrol, and law enforcement as modern-day villains. Walz and Frey give protesters exactly what they want, a moral permission to escalate. Escalate they are. It turns into shutdowns. It turns into chaos. And it spreads. We've seen this playbook before. Leaders legitimize rage instead of law, and the streets respond. Minnesota is becoming the template. Other blue states are watching, and make no mistake, this will spread. It's gone national. Democrats are threatening, once again, to shut down the federal government, not over budgets, not over defense, but to defund or cripple ICE and DHS. The same politicians who demand protection, order, and security are now labeling the very agencies tasked with enforcing the law as the bad guys. ICE is the villain. Border Patrol is the villain. Police are the villain. Criminals, cartels, human traffickers, repeat offenders here illegally, barely mentioned. This is not leadership. This is incitement by rhetoric. When elected officials compare law enforcement to Nazis, they are not speaking metaphorically. They are lighting a fuse, and once that fuse is lit, they don't control where it burns. Minnesota today, another blue state tomorrow, and every time Washington caves to this pressure, it sends one message loud and clear. If you riot hard enough, the law backs down. That's not justice. That's not compassion. That's surrender. You don't prevent chaos by attacking the law. You don't protect communities by vilifying police. And you don't honor history by abusing it. Minnesota's leaders aren't calming the fire. They're feeding it. In closing, let us point out the rioters. Protesters are backed by hype of politicians and media. Minnesota has a population over 5 million. Even when organizers report tens of thousands, it still represents a small fraction of the state overall, roughly 1% or less, rather than a majority or widespread mass movement. The truth hurts. They are getting political cover to keep illegals in the country as their future voters, criminals or not. Disclaimer: this program contains editorial commentary and opinion, and scenes are illustrative and symbolic in nature. TBR does not encourage violence or unlawful behavior. This content is presented for discussion, criticism, and public awareness.